Fail. Hello and welcome to another episode of Squirtified Engineering. I'm Sprutis, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing so you can stay up to date with all my different projects. So in this episode we will be doing something sort of secondary to the channel. And one secondary thing to this channel is the computers that I do my video editing on. And I've had a stationary computer for many years now, but it's been at my parents' house, so I've been using my laptop instead. But this stationary computer is powerful enough, but it's lacking in some areas, and I'm having some problems with it. So I want to do a fresh install, but it's not really worth it to do it on those old hard drives. Another reason why I'm keeping this computer and not I could buy a new motherboard, CPU, RAM, but that's quite a lot of money, and I think the motherboard that I have, which is Gigabyte 990 FXA-UD5, so AMD oriented, I think I can get some more power out of it. So I've done two purchases in order to upgrade this a little bit without replacing too much, but in order to do a fresh install, it has Windows 7 on it, professional, and Microsoft have dropped their support for that, so Windows 10 Professional would be another option. So that's what I will be going with, and many of the softwares that are installed for CAD, math programming, etc., they are a few years old. I think I'm using the Autodesk Inventor, and I think the one I have on it is version 2017. Perhaps I did upgrade it to 2019, but I think that license have expired. So I would anyway need to upgrade a lot of softwares, a lot of drivers. Currently I have a system fault, so that I can't really, when I'm trying to upgrade the graphics driver, for example, it would crash. So something happened. I think I got a virus and I lost the rights to some files. I managed to get them back, but it's not fully back. The virus is gone though, so don't worry about that. But back to what we're going to do in this episode. I have a package here, and it's from warehouse204.se. I placed the order 2 days ago, so on Sunday. Today's Tuesday, and it was at my postal office this morning, so extremely fast. I'm sure that my computer won't get extremely fast by this, but it will be faster. Ooh. Candy. And this. So it's the Samsung 870 QVO SSD hard drive. I saw that the 860 was very popular, and this one actually cost less. I bought it for 969 crowns, so roughly $100. Shipping was free, and most stores they took around $150, $160 for it, and the 860 was the cheapest price was 1200 crowns, so $120. So I'm one of those who are a bit against SSD, because if you have a mechanical hard drive, when it starts to fail, you will notice it. You will get slower speeds, you will get noise and so on, but that will give you an indication that you need to back up your files and replace the hard drive. With these, you don't really get a warning. Once it's there, 1 second it's there, and the next one it's gone. At least that's how it worked with the first SSD drives. That was a lot of years ago, so hopefully they are better now. But the idea is to use this hard drive for operating system and software, and of course a few games. And I will keep my important files on my old mechanical hard drives, as well as my new ones which I needed to buy for my YouTube channel. So this is the first step. I've already prepared a USB drive with the installation files for the operating system. I bought a license for it, so everything of that is ready. So let's just install the hard drive. So first we need to open this one up. The manual is almost as big as the hard drive itself. Extremely small, just like a normal laptop hard drive. I had a look inside my computer case and I couldn't find the adapters for 2.5 inch, so I will be lazy and just laying it inside, inside somewhere. Let's have a look. So I have already opened it up. I had to do some vacuum cleaning before I could show you all of this. But it's a Squirtified chassis. I have cut away the fan guards in the rear. A sheet of bitumen for dampening the sound and vibration. But in here we have a Gigabyte 990 FXA. We currently have a Phenom 2 X6 1055T CPU, the Cooler Master 212, currently with a single fan only. You can place another one here. I have some, well, I have the Corsair 500 watt power supply, and I have 4x4, so 16 gigabytes of RAM. I have an Asus 7850 2 gigabyte graphics card, and an M-Audio audiophile 192 sound card, which I'm using for recording and MIDI in and out. So I have this adapter harness hanging out the back. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna let my new hard drive lie on top of this one, and so I have two hard drives in it currently, one for OS and one for files, and I will disconnect the power to both of them just to avoid any confusion going on in my head, so I don't select the wrong hard drive. Maybe something like that, and the screwdriver. I like these Squirtified chassis because you have everything you need basically, and you don't need any screws for holding the cards in. It's just a bracket that you flip over by hand. So since I don't have the ESD wristband, I keep a hand on the chassis, so I'm still grounded to that. But one of the holes in this cage aligned with the hard drive, so I was able to fasten it. So and both of the other, my previous hard drives have now been disconnected. So all I have to do now is put my computer back in place and start the installation. So it's in its place. I've already connected the USB drive. So oops. Let's see what happens when we power it on. We have some life. It seems to be loading from the USB drive. So I'll pick you guys back up when something happens. So we are greeted by the first page. Even though I am in Sweden, I prefer to install English, but I will select Swedish time and currency format as well as keyboard. even though my keyboard is US spec. So now the installation will carry on. So yeah, I need to locate my product key, but I'll pick you guys up at a later time. The package has arrived all the way from Greece, so let's have a look inside. It's the brand new for me CPU. So this is the 8350. So it looks like all the pins are there. So I just need to do a benchmark on my current CPU, and then I can install this one and do another benchmark so we can see what the improvement is. I don't have any normal isopropanol to clean the CPU, but the cleaner I have in this bottle contains it. It's normally for cleaning off compound residue. So this will have to do. And then I will just use the tops to clean off old gunk, like thermal paste and so on. And since this have been in a cargo or in a transport for quite some time, I don't think there is any risk of short circuit anything. In case you were wondering, this is the cooler that I'm using, the Hyper 212 Plus. Looks like this, and it has these heat pipes running through the mount, and it's adaptable to many different CPUs. But I will clean this off and then I will apply this cooling paste, Fantech something, and use this. This was what I could get. So we finally have a coat of thermal conducting paste on the CPU. This must be the worst paste that I've used before or ever. Usually I use Arctic Silver 3, but I didn't have that now. So I have some on the CPU chip itself and some on the cooler. And this is a non-conducting paste. First time starting with my new FX 8350 CPU. Fail. So as it turns out, since I haven't had this computer with me for quite some time, many years, I haven't stayed up to date with keeping softwares up to date. So I had a BIOS F7 on it, and in order to support my new CPU I need F12. So I am now, as you can see over here, updating the BIOS. So it looks very old school. But we'll see how it goes. So here I have a picture. Not sure if you can, if it's focused, but it reads F12 now. So now I can change the CPU. I have just installed the CPU. So let's see if we get CPU beep this time. Yes! Success! Woohoo! The results are in. So I only used Geekbench, and let's see where we have it. I adjusted the settings for the RAM modules. For some reason it has a default, well, it has a failsafe value to start with. So I changed that to the actual values, which you saw me take a photo of. With the CPU I did nothing. And nothing with the graphics card either, but I'm suspecting that I made some modifications or alterations of the BIOS values with the previous CPU. But in Geekbench, my new CPU gets 607 points in single core score, and 2718 in multi-core score. And if we compare that to the previous, the Phenom 2 X6, it had 459 in single core score and 2045 in multi-core score. So it's a good step up. I did try and open the video files from my new GoPro, which were taken in 5K, and it is noticeably less laggy. So hopefully I now have a computer which can manage the 4K material. I might need to upgrade the graphics card, just because the GoPro 9 is putting out videos in HVEC 265 instead of 264, but we'll see. But so far I'm happy with the upgrade, and I think I'm going to do a bit of overclocking, at least turn off the turbo and let it run at turbo speed at all time. But I will do that with Prime 95 or something like that, to just so that I can verify the performance of the CPU, so I don't risk lose any valuable data in case it crashes while I'm using it. So I think the biggest upgrade was actually the hard drive, but I haven't tried out the system enough. But I'm quite happy with the amount of money that I've spent and the performance gain I got for that. So I guess my computer will live on for, well, for a little bit longer time. But we'll see how it goes. Perhaps there will be a follow-up on this. So I have to stop myself there. You saw the cooler that I'm using, the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Plus. The fan, so before this episode got online, the fan started to fail, and so since that was going on and I didn't like the thermal paste that I use, I went and bought the old and trusty Arctic Silver 5 and this. So this is Noctua NF-F12 industrial PPC. So very exclusive packaging. So this fan costs around the same amount as the entire cooler. So hopefully this will be able to flow enough. Even just by spinning this, it's moving a lot of air. So that's nice. So we will see how this goes. But the fan itself, 4-pin, is PWM controlled, and then just a set of screws. But since you've already seen me do this, I won't show you. But now you know. I think you will know when that happens. But thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Stay safe, take care, and bye bye.